Hello everybody, CW here. I want to talk a little bit about some books. Today's day and age, we kind of rely more on the internet than we do hard paper bound books. But I don't know if this is available online digitally. Of course you can buy them online. But this is specifically what I want to talk about, and I got the Lyman manuals out here because these are always something that I recommend to new reloaders. And I've said it many times, and most of you have probably heard me say it, but I always recommend the current Lyman manual. I'm not a huge, Lyman fan per se. They make good products, but there's better out there. But what Lyman does for us in the reloading industry, in their manual, is something that others can't really reproduce or haven't reproduced. And that is to create a manual with data for different calibers. But they're a company that only makes reloading stuff. They don't offer bullets. They do make molds, but they don't offer bullets. They don't make powder. They don't make primers. And they also do their own testing. Pressure testing with different cartridges. So I always recommend Lyman as a first manual. Now, all manuals will give you excellent data on how to do it, why to do it, the hows and whys, equipment, all the information you need, getting started with safety, getting started reloading, why, the tools you need, everything you need is in here. Most manuals give you that. But again, Lyman doesn't make bullets. They don't make primer. They don't make powders. So they're going to offer you the widest selection of primers, of bullets, bullet manufacturers, powder and powder manufacturers across the board, along with a little bit of cast bullet data mixed in. Other manufacturers do not do that. This is why I recommend Lyman. There's really no much better than anybody else except for the fact of the diversity of the information they offer. So, as a beginning reloader or established reloader, get a Lyman manual, refer to a Lyman manual. Here's just the last 3 versions. I've got them back to the beginning. I've bought the old ones. You watch on eBay, there's a couple of manufacturers out there who are reprinting the originals. And it's really great data if you're a bullet caster, or if you're a reloader and you pick up a bullet that hasn't been made in years and years. Let's say you go to you go to anything, you go to a garage sale, you go to a gun show, and the guy's got ammunition, bullets there on the counter from the 40s, from the 50s, from the 60s. And there's no data in the current manuals because they haven't been made since the 60s. Go back in older Lymans or older other manufacturers and you'll find the data. But that's the reason I like this. That's the reason I like to have this, and I keep it in stock all the time, constantly referring to it. Get yourself Lyman manual, refer to it, reflect it to others. It's really the best place to start. After you get established loading, you buy manuals for the powder you like, you buy manuals for the bullet you like. It's a natural progression. You're never going to have too much hard data, paper data that you can refer to when the power goes out. When you're in the middle of the woods, when you're somewhere else, you can't get online. This is the stuff to have. Something else that's really great that I recommend for more established shooters than beginning shooters, reloaders, and that is the Parker O. Ackley, P.O. Ackley Manual Handbook. There's 2 volumes, volume 1 and 2. This is one I keep in my bookcase upstairs. I refer to it often. Great wealth of ammunition, of information here. I also have a softback that I keep downstairs in my reloading room. And this is volume 1. Volume 1, we'll go through here and we'll look at what these chapters are really quick. We're not going to go through them all. Not going to be a 20-minute video. But Wildcats. He was big in Wildcats. Improved cartridges, P.O. Ackley. I just had a video on my K-Hornet. Now that was Kilborn. That's a different Wildcatter. But it's still similar to what Ackley did with his improvements on cartridges. He liked to sharpen the shoulders, reduce body taper in an effort to increase powder capacity, cut down on trimming, improve performance of the cartridge. Same thing that the Kilbourne did with the K. So, Warren Page is another one. Warren Page wrote this story in Ackley's book, Wildcats. Reflections of Rifleman Hunter, Safaris in Africa, Killing Power, Reduced Loads, Wind Drift, Shooting in the Wind, Pressures, Headspace, Bore Capacities, Sectional Density. These are a few different writers that are offering information here, but they're huge names, big names in the industry, and just information you're not going to find before the internet. Very many places. You can have it all here in your fingertips. Rimmed versus rimless, the chronograph, barrel steels, loading dies, his opinions of them. Some of this stuff is dated. Some of the loading data that you're going to find in here is dated because the powders are pretty much, not all of them, but some of the powder are pretty much not available anymore. And then a questions and answers section. He talks about powders. Hodgson wrote this on powders. And there's a couple 100 pages on loading data. He also gets into some Wildcats. And part of the reason this is brought up is because of the shorts I've started to do on cartridges. And I've got a couple that are defunct, like I had that 401 you just watched the other day, a week or so ago. My friend Ricky Baird just sent me a text this morning wanting to know about a 22-30-30 case that he found in a bunch of brass that he got. And I said, oh, there's a number of Wildcats that are built on the 30-30 case. And if you look in here, there's a bunch of them in here. The Wasp, Donaldson Wasp. The 219 zipper is the one I told him about, and here it is. But there's a whole bunch of them. This one's not on the case. Here's a zipper improved. 219 Wolverine. That might be a 225 case. No, it's a 30-30 case. 22-30-30 improved. 22 Varmint R. That's on a 303 Brit case. But there's such a wealth of information here, and I guarantee there's calibers, cartridges in here that you've never heard of. He has some of his own, 230 Ackley. He has some of his own. Very, very cool stuff. 230 LLF. Who's heard of that? It's simply a 243 neck down. But, just cool stuff. Look at what he's getting out of velocities here. 70 grain bullets, almost 3,800 feet per second. There's just a wealth here. If you're somebody who's looking to build a new gun, want a new caliber, something that nobody else has, this stuff can all be done today. All you need is a good gunsmith. You get a barrel, a blank barrel in the caliber you want. In this case, you want to build a Barnes QT. You really like this cartridge. So you get yourself a 6.5 barrel. You start hunting for reamers. You find a barrel reamer or a company that makes reamers that'll cut you this reamer. And from the reamer, you can talk to different die manufacturers, and you can have dies cut and made. There's a couple companies that offer die blanks. You can go that route. You can have it custom made. And for bullets, it's 6.5. You got a whole bunch of bullets available. The sky is the limit. Things that you can do. And like it's been said a lot in videos that I just produced, is everything old is new again. There's so much in here. So much cool information to read. The man was a wealth of information. Highly recommended. They're not getting any cheaper, but it's something that you will have and you can have forever. This was gifted to me from a good friend of mine. This version was printed in 71. This is the 15th printing. This was made in 85 or 86. This one I bought myself. In the second manual, Volume 2, we'll talk about military actions, military strength of actions, a few cases with blow-ups, what happens, how it happened. Colonel Frank Chamberlain, just talking about the gentleman. Gunshot wounds written by Frank Chamberlain. Hardness test applied to guns. 30 cal Wildcat test, additional pressure testing, case life and full length resizing, sub-caliber cartridges. Here's a whole story on the 17 Ackley B. Just a cool little cartridge. You maybe never heard of it. Hercules powder. There's a couple of rundowns from a couple of people. Pressure problems, doing this and that. Figuring bullet energy. These are a couple stories from Homer Powley. Relatively quickness of propellants. New cartridges of the day. Again, remember, original printing on this was what? Let's see if I can surmise that here. I don't know off the top of my head when this first was printed. Again, this is the third printing in 71. I thought it was the sixth. My bad. Third printing in 71. 1966. So, as of 66, new cartridges. And there was quite a few around 66. Now, Remington come out with a few of their short fats in 66. I think the 6.5 Rem Mag come out in 66. Whether it'll be in here or not, I'm not sure. But safety and hand loading, sub-caliber cartridges, and then some loading data. This is all under loading data. 22, 23, 6 mm, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 33, 35, 30, 75, 577, and then pistol, and then shotgun, and then additional loads. So there is quite a bit of information in here. Now let's just look at one that probably people are going to know right off the top of their head, and let's give a nod to my friend Roger, who I said you probably aren't going to hear anything from me about the 270 Winchester. And is it even in here? It may not even be in here, Raj. Look at there. He snubbed. And I'm not surprised. He snubbed the 270 Winchester. It's not in here. But here's a 270 308 improved. So 308 cartridge, case rather. Neck down to 270 in an improved case. So again, reduced body taper, sharper shoulder. He gives data for all 4350 and 4320 powder. So both those powders are available today. 4320 is recently discontinued, but still can be had. Probably still is on a lot of shelves. Here's one, a Wildcat with a 270 neck down from the 303 case. 277 Smith is a Magnum. What case are they using? Probably a 300 H&H, but it doesn't really say. But I assume that's the H&H case. So I don't know about the length, but probably compares to the 270 Weatherby Mag. Here's a 284 on the 270. 270 Gibbs. Gibbs was a maker of a lot of Wildcats, and he had some good stuff. Really before his time. A lot of his thinking and a lot of his cartridges. ICL did a lot as well. And then we're into the 270 300 Weatherby. So before the 270 Weatherby Magnum, they were necking down the 270 into the 300 Weatherby Mag. And if you know your history, the 270 Weatherby was a shorter case than the 300 Weatherby. So this probably has a little better performance. Or might have. I don't really know. I've never looked into it. 284 Winchester. Here's one you may have heard of. This has been around a while, and it's a great platform. There was a number of Wildcatters who built cartridges all on 284 case from 22 all the way up to 375. It's a medium length. They can squeeze it into a short, but it's better served than a medium length action. And it has 3006 capacity in the case. This case is used for a lot of cartridges that you may not realize, but this original, the 284 Winchester, is one of the original rebated rim cases, and it was used for the 450 Bushmaster. That's the parent case for the 450 Bushmaster. So all kinds of neat stuff, and this is just a foundation of stuff that you can learn. Now Alcan is a defunct manufacturer of a lot of reloading stuff, but there's some information in here with Alcan. You may find AL7, AL8 powders floating around, and there is data in here for that. Talking about pressure loadings with different cartridges, velocities, and what he found with charges. Just a wealth of information. There's a little bit of Norma shotgun ammo in here. So we got 15 minutes. Didn't really want to go that long, but it's a lot to cover here. I really can't impress or recommend this enough. Find these manuals, these books, pick them up. I really think you'll enjoy them. There's a wealth of information in here you just not found today. And I think if you're a reloader and you really love what we're doing here with reloading, this is something that you'll appreciate. So, excuse me. God bless everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get these manuals, because I really think that you'll benefit from them. God bless everybody. CW out.